How Staffordshire should sound. Six Towns Radio.
First of all, let's talk about Greedo. That was the biggest character for a lot of people watching Star Wars. I'm surprised, because everyone likes the goodies and some people like the baddies, but Greedo is one of those characters that has gained quite a momentum over the years as one of the great characters.
It's quite bizarre, isn't it, how we've all kind of gained reputation through Star Wars over the last 40 years for such small characters. I think everyone was kind of interested in the smaller characters because you could get an idea of what their sort of lives were like outside of the main story. And I think Greedo didn't really have much of a home life, to be perfectly honest.
It does seem that way, doesn't it? Because you see him for a few fleeting moments in the film Star Wars 4. In the cantina scene, of course, it's a scene with Han Solo. Han Solo is wanted by Jabba, and the bounty on his head is quite a considerable amount, and you sort of offer him a deal out. You offer him...
You've been doing your homework, haven't you? Yeah.
No, I've just watched it 50,000 times. Everyone's seen Star Wars except for my good lady. She's the only person I know on this planet who's not seen it.
Who's not seen it? Well, we'll have to sit her down with a bag of mint humbugs one day and let her watch it and see what she thinks.
Yeah, definitely. But like I say, my two sons have watched it and love it, and it's just one of them films that's just carried on being much loved. So yeah, there's this scene where you offer Han Solo a way out, and it's his ship basically, and it's his wife, his ship, Han Solo. He loves it more than anything else.
He does, that's very true. And it was Greedo's first job, you know. I mean, he was only a young assassin, and for Jabba to send him out on that little job was so unfortunate, because he'd missed a close range day at Assassin College, so it was very unfortunate. At Grassy Knoll, he would have been fine.
Yes.
But as it was, he ended up as a bit of a juice drink for Jabba the Hutt. How sad is that? Yeah,
bounty hunters should be watching where the fingers are of the person they're after, shouldn't they? They should be watching where the hands are.
Well, I was trying to keep an eye on Han at the same time. But he got the better of me, unfortunately. Well, if I had shot him, it would have been perfect, wouldn't it? I'd have run off with Princess Leia, defeated Vader. The whole franchise would have been Greedo. So I don't know why I didn't shoot first. I really should have done. And it's a sort of plea, I think, for ethical assassins, really. I mean, look how good he was. He didn't fire until he was fired upon.
Yeah. And everyone asked the question who shot first because of the remakes and all that, but we know who shot first.
I read the script.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the script it says, it plays the scene, and at the end of the scene it says, Han shoots the alien, and that's what happens. So, and as I said, if I'd shot him first anyway, the whole franchise would have been mine, so it would have made much more sense, really.
I would have loved that, a little spin-off series, Greedo. You know what I mean?
It could happen yet. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, because they're threatening to make many more Star Wars after Episode 7, so maybe Greedo will have another half-life.
Yeah, well, obviously he died in that episode, but
I think he crawled away underneath the table and managed to set up some small copy franchise on the planet Costa.
I think the same. I think exactly the same. See, because as a young child watching Star Wars, I remember the end. We all thought Darth Vader had come a cropper because he spun off in the spaceship. We thought he's gone. And then Empire Strikes Back. He's back. Oh, hold on. You know what I mean? He was a certain.
That's right. I thought he died. Yeah, absolutely. So who knows? Who knows? The same couldn't happen to Greedo.
Yeah, it would be fantastic if it did. But yeah, the Rhodian did come a cropper, and we only saw a cousin in Return of the Jedi. Beedo was...
that's right. There have been several other little ones, haven't there? I mean, I talked to Warwick at one point, because he was in... he was in one of the other episodes, playing and I asked him, I said, is that supposed to be sort of Greedo as a young boy? And Warwick said, George never told him, so he was in the dark about it as well. But there's been plenty of sort of little Rhodian aliens on the loose. Around the various planets, and you do see them from time to time in the other movies. And of course, Greedo is one of the few. Well, actually, many characters have transcended all the Star Wars films into other idioms, and there's rarely any movie made now which doesn't mention Star Wars or have some characters on the in the rooms of the other characters in the movies. So So it's really quite bizarre to have transcended from one film into another series of films.
Yeah, and it was all shot in 1976 at Elstree, and so many people have been on the phone talking to me about their role in the film, you know, and how it happened. It was a happy accident for some of them. They were doing little bits and extra work, and they've ended up being, you know, a main character, or, you know, they were the right size to fit a suit, or however.
They were very, very lucky. I mean, I was lucky too. I was working with Tony Daniels, who was C-3PO, and we were in an episode of Jack and Ori, and he rang me up one night and said, I'm doing this sci-fi film, and the director's looking for some more character actors. Are you interested? So I said, well, yeah, of course. And he also asked my wife, my then girlfriend, and if she wanted to come. And I think she was going to audition for a part in Jabba's palace as one of the dancing girls in Jabba's palace. But she turned it down because she'd been a ballet dancer and didn't want to do any more dancing, which I never let her forget. From that point to this, I always mention that she turned down a part in Star Wars.
Yeah. Who'd know, though, when you did shoot the first film, how massive it was?
Who knew?
Who knew, exactly?
Who knew? I think George knew. He was about the only person who did. He was pretty cool about the original 3 scripts. I mean, and he was so heavily committed to them all in so many ways that I think he had the right level of confidence about it all. Although he was quite a shy guy, he wasn't really too much of a hands-on director. I mean, he was a nice man, but he was very quiet. But I think in the back of his mind, he knew all those years ago in '76 that this was going to be something a bit special. Yeah.
And like I say, fast forward nearly 40 years, and you get these people coming to see you. People will flock to see Greedo.
Well, I'm honoured, and I shall look forward to meeting them, and anything I can do to make their day more entertaining, I'm happy to do.
Are you going to recreate the scene a few times? Does that happen?
I replay that scene many a time, particularly everyone who comes up always says who shot first. So I now wear the T-shirt, which avoids a lot of discussion, which says hand shot first.
So you see the people queuing up at your table. If you see somebody in a black waistcoat with a white shirt on, you think, here we go again.
Yeah, well, that's something that's really changed in the last 10, 15 years. A long while ago, 25 years ago, when conventions for Star Wars first started, people just came and they were interested in the movie, and they queued up, and they might be interested in you or maybe not, and asked for an autograph. But today, most people dress up in whatever character they're interested in, and for us it's been amazing, because as actors, the last thing you want to do actually is get in another costume.
Yeah.
But everybody else now dresses up, so it provides a great deal of entertainment for us at these conventions.
Oh, I bet it really does. And I know that you've done quite a few other films, but you've been in a film with Patrick Stewart. I know the two never shall meet, but they're as big as each other, Star Trek, Star Wars.
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. I've done 1 or 2 movies. Most of my career was in the theatre, really.
Yeah.
And particularly, I did quite a few bits and pieces in the Far East. I worked in Hong Kong for a year and a half, and worked for. I dubbed quite a few Chinese kung fu films over there, which was pretty cool and pretty exciting. And did the odd movie over here, but yeah, my favourite actor I worked with, I suppose, in the early days, because I couldn't work with my real hero, who was Marlon Brando. Wow. And by that time, he was almost giving up doing movies. But I worked with the next best person, who was Rod Steiger. I was in a kind of smallish part, but I was in a movie with him, and he was absolutely fascinating. And as a guy who'd been in On the Waterfront and other great iconic films, he was someone I was really sort of proud to be involved with in a film.
Yeah, I can imagine. And your son hasn't followed in your footsteps in acting, has he? He's done all right for himself in the field, basically.
He has, yeah. Now, if you type in Paul Blake, you used to get me for Greedo, but now you get him, because he's a world champion 400 and 800 meter Paralympic runner. In fact, he did win silver in the Paralympics in 2012. So we were. Can you imagine? We were there in the stadium, and can you imagine watching your own son run out in front of 80,000 people and get a silver medal? I was shouting at anybody that's my son. And most people who didn't want to listen, I'm still telling them that was my boy. Yeah, it was just incredible, and we're incredibly proud of him. We're proud of all our kids, but Paul particularly, because he's done so well. And in fact, he's going to be running in the World Championships next year, and then of course in Rio in 2016.
Yeah.
So we're saving up to get to Rio now.
Wow. I suppose when the pistol went off at the beginning of the race, I bet you thought, oh, he's shot first this time.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I tell him to mention it whenever possible,
yeah.
but he wants too much money. So,
well, Paul, it's fantastic catching up with you today on the wireless.
Many thanks.
Right, and thanks, Paul. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye bye.